And we're back live on your number one sports podcast, All Things Sports. I'm your co-host, Small Town EP, coming to you live from the chilly city of Atlanta, joined by your host, Wait Julian, and our guest for the evening, Big Kev Shotted. In a week where the NFL Combine begins and LeBron James shows us that the past is really just the present and possibly the future, ATS is back to give you the real in sports. We'll start in the NFL this evening. It seems that the defending champions can't stay off of the news, can't stay out of the commentary, are consistently on the radar. Miko Hardman is in the news this week for some comments that might lead to some tampering investigations. He details his experience within the first couple weeks of the season in New York. Of course, he was a New York Jet for a couple weeks, signed in the offseason as a free agent for a $4 million deal. And says, he wasn't really feeling it. Says he was a little misled by, if I'm not mistaken, last name Boyle, which is the special teams coordinator in New York, was a little misled on the punt return job, things like that. Says, hey, week 4 came around at home against Kansas City. I didn't want to play. He literally, quote unquote, said, I'm not catching for that man, referring to his special teams coordinator, right? Goes back to Kansas City. Ends up catching the Super Bowl game-winning catch that he didn't even know was a game-winning catch. But he does say, hey, I spoke to Chiefs GM and I spoke to Pat and I told them to, quote-unquote, come get me. Kev, you being the New York Jets resident on the All Things Sports Podcast, your number one sports podcast brought to you by Small Town Productions. Is this some serious tampering? Is he wilding out? Is this a chargeable offense here, Kev?
I mean, it's McCall Hardman, so I don't really care. But if you're gonna air it out like that, you got to be obviously the Jets are now gonna do whatever they need to do to get a draft pick or whatever they need to get from the Chiefs.
Snitch.
Because you snitched on yourself. You told on yourself. So now you got to pay the consequences, and you can't tell on yourself and then go on Twitter the next day after the reports are out and try to take it back and be like, no, let's make this clear. You already made it very clear when you were on the podcast with Ryan Clark, and you said what you said. You said that you talked to the GM and Mahomes and told them come get me. So you can't really go back and say that. The part that I thought was interesting was what Sauce Gardner had to say on Twitter, which he actually went back and deleted the tweet. But he said, quote, we ain't going to talk about how our offensive game plan got leaked versus the Eagles, a game which the Jets won. But I don't know what the allegation is there or what he's hinting at. But it seems like McCall Hardman was a little bit upset with the Jets and decided to leak game plans to the Chiefs and the Eagles is what people are now starting to hint at. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He was off the team by week 6. I don't think it affected our team one way or the other. I just think it's stupid. Like Thomas Morstead said, be careful of, what a disgruntled former employee says. And then he said it's tough when you get beat out by an undrafted rookie for your position. So I think he's more just feelings hurt more than anything. And I don't think he should be. He won a Super Bowl. He got at the end of the day, he got a ring out of it. So not sure why he's still harping on it, but do what you got to do, my guy. That's all I got to say. He did credit the defense, though. He credited the defense and said that they have a culture. There's just no culture on the offense. So I don't know. He's all over the place.
I real quick, E, before you kind of chime in on this as the resident Chiefs fan of the pod, like you started off with, Kev, it is McCall Hardman, so it's not like breaking news or anything. I think it is kind of funny how, the Pivot podcast is a great podcast, and I think that they do such a great job of making the player or whoever it is, the interviewee, feel so comfortable as to where they feel they can share this type of information, right? And it's like, wait, I forgot, this is a viral clip here, and so McCall Hardman kind of let one slip, if you will. The Jets, if I was, a Jets fan, I would definitely hope that we tried to talk to the NFL into, getting some compensation for this, because It is a rule is a rule at the end of the day, and it's not like the Jets went out of their way to click YouTube and see McCall Hardman talking about how he was tampering with the Chiefs, and so um, sometimes you got to just let people do it to themselves, and that seems to be the case here. But honestly, like Kev said, and like I said just now, it's not that big of a deal because McCall Hardman and the Chiefs won, right? The Chiefs won the Super Bowl, so like talking about that, it's like you're bitter about an ex, but you got a new girlfriend. Like, what are you still harping on this for? So it is what it is. Real quick, Kev. No, EP, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I didn't have time to actually go through and listen to the entire thing because clips come out and things are perceived
Fair.
one way or another. My whole thing is: was he asked about this, or is this just information that he just started offering? If this is, and I'll play both sides. I'll play devil's advocate. If this is information that he's just offering, then yeah, you sound kind of weird right now, bro. Like, you just won a Super Bowl. Who cares about your ex where it didn't work out, regardless of how nasty the work was over there? Who cares? Which is why when Kev brought this topic up in the group chat, I was like, who cares? Now, if he was just asked, or whatever, then I think that's a different story. I don't think he sounds as disgruntled at that point, but snitching on yourself, bro, and trying to walk back.
They're still like, even if you were asked about it, it's like, hey man, past is the past. You know what I'm saying? Situations happen. There's a high road to take in certain situations, and I think that it would have been more appropriate for him to take the high road here when talking about a team that, based on last season, wasn't shit compared to the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Jets have a great group on defense, have potential to do some things this year with their quarterback coming back and have a good roster. But that team was nowhere near the Chiefs level. You know what I'm saying? For him to kind of just go back and talk about what could have been, because if that's the case, you should have been a great player on that offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do, to his defense, Zach Wilson. I'm not going to defend Zach Wilson. I'm not here to go through the season he had. He did start to play better toward the end. That's neither here nor there. But it is Zach Wilson, and we know, what he is kind of made of and their quarterback situation at the end of the day. But I do think, again, McCall Hardman could have took the higher road here. Kev, real quick, just while we're on the Jets, you had choice words on Monday night before we left. Right before we got out of here, you had some choice words for Bills star tackle Dion Dawkins. He was on Vlad TV podcast. I had to sit there and like ponder on I thought about that clip I saw on Twitter. And so Dion Dawkins had some choice words, basically going over the fact that the Jets are full of a bunch of guys who love to take pictures and this, that, and the third. You probably know the quote more so than I do. You want to talk on that? Let me know how you feel and what you think about Dion Dawkins' maybe unnecessary comments.
I mean, it was definitely unnecessary. First of all, you're talking about saying that all they want to do is go on Instagram. You're sitting on Vlad TV shirtless. Like, that's the first part. Like, you're doing a whole interview with no shirt on, so who's really looking for attention here? And then the other part of it is, I just thought it was hilarious that he's like, Quinnen Williams, by the way, he's valid because he knows he got to see Quinnen on that line. And so I wouldn't want to make Quinnen Williams mad either. So you're a bitch. Like, you're bitch made for that, because you know that that's the one person who you're going to have to see on that line, and you know he's going to get by you and make you look foolish 3 or 4 times in a game. And so you got to credit Quinnen Williams now and get that out of the way. But bro, like, even if that is the case, and that whole defense, other than Quinnen Williams, according to Dion Dawkins, just wants to take pictures on Instagram, they were still the best rated defense in the league last year. So go take all the pictures you want, as long as you're going to perform. I could care less.
Yeah. And by the way, I want a full disclaimer here. Mr. Dion Dawkins, if this video, finds a way to you. Kev is a Jets fan. I do not defend the Jets publicly. Kev is the one who has the choice words. Listen, I'm going to let him have the platform to say whatever he'd like. Please, if you see us all in public together, take that up with him, not me. But I just wanted to, and I must say, Kev, I respect how you standing on business, because I asked you about what you said last week and you said it again. So respect.
Hey, put a shirt on.
Hey, that we can agree there, Dion Dawkins. Put a fucking shirt on.
Nah, for sure. Listen, I missed about 20 seconds of this whole thing. My dog was wild, and I had to make sure that no one was trying to come up on me in this chilly Atlanta weather. But definitely put a shirt on. I don't care if Benny the Butcher gave you a BSF chain, and all that. Nobody cares, bro. Put a shirt on. especially when Vlad TV is a known federal enforcer. You know what? Wrong pod. Wrong pod.
Wrong pod.
Wrong pod.
Oh shit! In
Oh
other
my,
news,
yeah, right. We'll stay. We'll stay in the NFL. Steelers GM had some positive choice words for Kenny Pickett, saying that he has the utmost faith in his QB. June, should Kenny Pickett be QB1 in Week 1 in Pittsburgh?
I mean, at this point, yes. Like, I think Kenny Pickett isn't a bad quarterback. I don't think he's as questionable as the Daniel Jones is where I was going with this, and so I don't think he's as questionable as Daniel Jones. I think he has a bit more upside, in my personal opinion. The thing about Kenny Pickett is that I would like to see what he does with the new offensive coordinator, and I feel crazy saying this because I look at his stats. I'm trying to be nice here. He's a Pittsburgh kid, drafted to his hometown team. Matt Canada was flamed for the offense he was running there. George Pickens and Deontay Johnson don't help the fact that they're super divas that underproduce. It's a lot going on in Pittsburgh. Najee Harris lost a shirt or 6 and isn't the same guy they drafted him to be. But however, they found their way to be an over 500 team again, right? Like they're not a losing football team. And so Kenny Pickett doesn't necessarily push the needle for them to go over and beyond. Through 2 seasons, he's only had 4,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. And when I say only 13, that's a very low number of touchdowns and a very low number of interceptions throughout 2 years, which means he's not really even moving the ball. That is problematic. I do think that there can be changes. I think they can see improvements in that offense, is why I'm still holding out a bit of hope. They're also in a position where who's going to be the quarterback, right? They're not going to go and draft a guy at, I don't know what pick they have, but I'm sure it's 18, 19 or so, or 20, something like that. So yes, I do think he should be QB1 for time being. Give him one more crack at it. You're still on his rookie deal. You're not forced to pay him or anything like that. And kind of see where the chips fall with a new offense this year. So I'm not saying this in the sense of Kenny Pickett, man, he's going to do great. I'm also not going to go as far as, how I went crazy on Daniel Jones in 2022 going into 2023, where Daniel Jones had an amazing season and made me look crazy. But I'm all for it. If Kenny Pickett is gonna have a Pro Bowl season next year, like I'm all for it. I'm not gonna be mad at somebody succeeding. So I also ironically have a Pittsburgh Pirates hat on. So maybe that's the thinking cap doing it for me.
I did
Let's
notice
go.
I did notice
Pittsburgh
that
Pirates.
when you jumped on. I saw the because I think we were talking about the Pickett situation when you jumped in and Pittsburgh hat. So
you got the
Kev, before I get your comments on the Kenny Pickett situation, because you brought this up to the group chat as a topic for the pod tonight. June brought up Daniel Jones in New York. There's a lot of people that have Drake May falling to 6 to the Giants, and a North Carolina Tar Heel replacing a Duke Blue Devil in the NFL would be spicy. But Kev, should Kenny Pickett be QB1 in Week 1 in Pittsburgh or for Pittsburgh? I'm not sure if they're at home or away in the first week of the season.
So it's tough because it's like Julian said, like I am not a fan of George Pickens. I'm not as high on him as a lot of people are. He reminds me of Chase Claypool, who like what is he doing now? He couldn't even get on the field for the Dolphins.
Right.
So I'm he's in a tough situation because Najee's not what they drafted him to be. They don't really have a number 1 receiver. They don't really have a number 1 tight end. Like Firemouth is okay, but he's not Travis Kelce, obviously.
I like that.
He's not a TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, he's a serviceable tight end.
He's a player.
Yeah. But I think they need to exhaust their options as far as who's in the trade market. The Russell Wilsons, whether Chicago wants to move on from Justin Fields. I think that could maybe be potentially the route they go. I think Kirk Cousins is probably going to be back in Minnesota from what it looks like.
Strong
and coming off
strong arm Kirk.
Yeah, and coming off the Achilles with the lack of talent on the outside, not sure that that's a great situation for Kirk to go to, but they're gonna ride this. There's still a team that's gonna ride their defense next year. Pause. And so I think if you're Kenny Pickett and you do end up the starting quarterback, you just need to not make mistakes. He's 7-5 in both years as a starter, so he's 14-10 overall. He's been whatever. Mason Rudolph came in the last 3 games and went 3-0 last year.
I don't
I mean,
care.
yeah, he went 3-0 though
I
with no
know.
turnovers
Nah, it's
in three
fair. I
games.
get it. I'm just a hater. Listen. There's some guys I'm gonna hate. All right, Mason
So,
Rudolph's on that list.
I mean, you could make the argument that maybe Mason Rudolph is the
Mason
better
Rudolph also
option.
has way more experience here in the league. You know what I'm saying?
He does, but I mean, so Chad Henne has more experience than Patrick Mahomes in the league, and you know what I mean.
All right.
Yo, this is like the third time Kev has like gave you some fact, and you're like, all right, bro, you got it.
Like experience doesn't do anything for me if you're not
The
out.
motherfucker said Chad Henne. Hold on, I got to put my glasses on. He said Chad Henne.
Nah, not the
I
glasses.
forgot about Chad Henne. Hey,
So
shout out to Chad Henne for throwing that first down to Tyreek Hill versus the Browns in a big playoff game, divisional round 2021 or 2020, I believe.
what I will say about Kenny Pickett that I do like is in his 24 starts, he does have 7 game-winning drives. So that to me is impressive that he can come down the field in a make or break situation and get the job done. So that's the plus side for Pickett. I do think they need to get him some help though, somewhere on the outside. They need a receiver. So I think Kenny Pickett probably should be the starter if your options in the trade market are non-existent. But if you go into next year with Kenny Pickett as your starter, you need to get him some help on offense.
Agreed.
Nah, I agree. It's a tough division when you're in that division specifically. You got to kind of work with what you got if you can't get more than what you already have. So it's tough. I don't want to say yay or nay on if he should be QB1 because we have the draft coming up. We got a couple of things happening. Pieces can move here and there. He hasn't been horrible. He just hasn't been the guy that really fits what Mike Tomlin has, the quarterback that the Mike Tomlin team embodies essentially. Yeah, who knows? It's Pittsburgh.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I like the idea of them going after Justin Fields. We are hearing kind of these rumblings of Justin Fields in Atlanta, and Atlanta being the team that might want to trade for him. I don't want to over speculate on the video that circulated online where he was jumping up and down. Somebody in the background saying, going back home or whatever the case was.
Yeah,
I could
hometown
definitely
boy.
see. Yeah, I could definitely see a world where Atlanta makes the trade for him. It makes total sense, but I guess we'll kind of just wait for that to come out and. Not one of these, verified Twitter pages.
I'll tell you what, too, that if they can make that trade, that's a scary read option with Fields and Bijan Robinson.
But it won't be the scariest because Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor are still a thing. They had 4 plays together last year. 4 plays. Anthony Richardson blows his shoulder. So just saying.
I'm still waiting for Russell Wilson to complete his hero arc in Atlanta as like a defy all the odds, nothing can stop me. God is on my side.
Can you see Russell Wilson winning the Super Bowl? All right, this is complete fallacy bullshit, but he just like wins the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and then it's like friends and family on the field. Sierra gives him a hug. Baby Future, he just lifts him up. He's like, "I love you, son. We won the Super Bowl. We're going to Disney World."
He better not do that on the field. He might get shot.
And then like they're on the roller coaster, front row, and then you look behind him and you see Future just sitting there. He's like doing the roller coaster with no motion.
No emotion, facts.
All right. Atlanta ain't winning shit. That's all I got to say.
There it is. I want to kick it over to the chat real quick. Cardi in there. First things first, he says, "Let's go Heat." We'll get into the NBA.
Yes, sir.
And he says that we cooking as always. And then that boy Ray Cam Bam. Shout out to Ray. I know he's had the baby shower recently. Congrats.
Shout out to Ray. God bless him, my boy.
Yeah, God bless you. It's a beautiful thing when you are bringing a beautiful piece of life into the world.
EP, I want to acknowledge the fact that like life just goes on and on and on, right? Like you just mentioned, the the first father. Shout out to Cardi, man. Shout out to Cardi, Cairo. Blessings to him. Ray, father to be. You know what I'm saying? Just had his baby shower with Chanel. Like beautiful shit here, man. And we got, our family member Kev right here is a father to be. Him and Rachel are welcoming a beautiful child into this world as well. So it's surreal because I mean this time last year none of this was a thing. I mean Cardi, I want to say Cardi, his boy was like September, I believe, right? Cardi's birthday's in September, but
Correct.
yeah, I mean, it was just a new thing kind of thing. So shout out to the All Things Sports Podcast family, all the friends and family in the chat that show love and show support for us, just kind of growing and doing their thing individually. We love to see that.
Appreciate it. He'll be making an appearance within a year.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Let's get it. And like I said, since Cardi brought it up, he said, let's go Heat. We're not going to get to the Heat yet, but we're going to jump into the NBA real quick. The LeBron James-led Lakers is how I'm going to put this. Come back from 21 down in the fourth quarter. LeBron James puts on a spectacle along with AD. I really like calling him street clothes, but I can't really call him street clothes these days.
Nah.
He doing what he got to do. He doing what he got to do.
Kawhi.
Facts. Big facts. What a great battle of LA it was last night. I actually fell asleep at about the third quarter, so I didn't catch this. I had to watch the highlights in the morning and stuff and get caught up. I was watching the game, but I just didn't make it to the end of the game. I mean, June, talk to me. LeBron was in Miami for a little bit. He was doing this all the time. I'm sure you got some thoughts on it. Because the man went crazy.
Listen, LeBron James has been my favorite player ever since Dwayne Wade left the game. And it's just one of those things that we can't take for granted. I mean, he's 39 years old. He's in his 21st season now. And so my father and my brother-in-law, shout out to Arash, shout out to my pops, they're Lakers fans, right? So they were in the group chat, and anytime it's fucking 11 o'clock or midnight and they're texting the group chat, I'm like, oh, the Lakers got to be on or something. Something's going on with the Lakers. And so last night, Araf is texting LeBron, and I go to the group chat and I see LeBron. And I had to get up early this morning, so I wanted to go to sleep early, but everybody's talking about LeBron, and I'm like, let me turn this game on. I know it was a blowout earlier. They were down 21. So I caught like the last 4.5 minutes, and I didn't see the onslaught that LeBron did live. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see all those 3-pointers he just hit back to back to back.
Three threes to start the quarter is crazy.
I caught up, and 19 points in a quarter. I mean, anybody that does that, that's an amazing feat. So for it to be LeBron at this time of his career against the Clippers on the road, you know what I'm saying? It's just like whenever this does end, whenever this road does come to an end, it's going to be something that we'll never get back. It's one of those things. Like obviously, Dwayne Wade, I miss him to death. It was when he left the Heat. I kind of felt that. That was what I felt, and then he came back, and we felt great again. But it was his time, right? It was Dwayne Wade's time to go when he did. He left the game with a triple-double from Udonis Haslem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was beautiful. And I felt like, all right, that was like one of those things where we can put this to rest and his career will forever live on. LeBron, though, LeBron's going to retire, in my opinion, when he still has gas in the tank. Because I think LeBron has gas in the tank for the next 7 years. And not to say at this elite level, however, LeBron is still a top 10 player in the league. And to say that he's a top 10 player in this league with all the skill and all the talent that we have with these young guys, it's crazy. So I do think LeBron is just amazing. He's closing on 40,000 points now. Like what more can we ask for to not? And you still don't want to call him the GOAT. I get it, but it's my GOAT.
I love that you say, what more can we ask for? Because it reminds me of Jay-Z's What More Can I Say? When at the end he says, we'll see what happens when that no longer exists. He just drops the mic and walks off. Kev, how did you feel about the LeBron James performance last night and the Lakers coming back 21 down in the fourth quarter?
It's funny because I was texting my group chat and I almost said LeBron turning back the clock And I thought to myself, this is just LeBron. Like he's never like it's just been this his whole career, 21 years in, and this is still who he is. And that to me is the most impressive part of his career. Is like he has not slowed down outside of a series in 2011 that we shall not talk about. Um, but other than that, he other than that, like he has not slowed down. Like he's just been this dominant force in the league for 21 years.
Yeah.
And so to watch him drop 19 points in the fourth quarter and outscore the whole Clippers team in the fourth quarter himself and to bring them back from down 21, yeah, that was special. That was like I mean, like it's almost like you don't even know what to say because it was
Right.
just like it's just LeBron, and he played the full fourth quarter at 39 years old. He's playing 12 minutes in the fourth, and just willing his team to victory.
Yeah.
And it's a game that you need. Like at this point where they're at in the standings, they need every game that they can get. And that would have been a tough loss for them last night. And they were able to come back. And Norman Powell hit a buzzer beater, crazy buzzer beater to end the third quarter and put them up 19. And you think like, oh, everything's just going right for the Clippers tonight. It's just that night. And then LeBron just turned it up in the fourth quarter and didn't look back. And yeah, that was a special moment last night from LeBron to be able to bring him back.
Hey, as if 19 points weren't enough in the fourth quarter for LeBron James, the last possession, 9 seconds left, Tyronn Lue calls a timeout. I mean, they've got James Harden on the floor. They've got Kawhi Leonard. You just mentioned Norman Powell hit a big shot, right? They got some guys on that floor. Kawhi Leonard gets the call, and LeBron James is right there playing defense, ISO, and forced him into a horrible shot. Horrible shot that Kawhi, I'm sure, wasn't even happy with the shot he took. Because it wasn't a high percentage one. And what a way to close it out, man, on defense, right? It's always feeling good. It's always a good feeling. As good as like game winners are and go ahead buckets are, like closing that game out on defense. As Heat fans, Kev, I think we can relate. Like that's a good feeling where we're like, yeah, we're gonna lock you up last possession. It's gonna be, we're gonna like give our fans the most anxious time here, but we're gonna close it out and we're gonna get a stop on defense. And it's gonna feel a little, it might not feel better than a game winner or a go ahead bucket, but it's gonna feel just as good. And to some, maybe better because you understand that there's pride being taken when it comes down to getting stops and especially clutch stops. So shout out to LeBron doing it on both sides of the floor. 39 years old. Again, what more can I say? Right? We're the EP.
And this series had been it's been lopsided each way for a set amount of years. The Lakers had it for a little bit in the Kobe era. Clippers couldn't win nothing. Clippers have had the upside for the last couple of years, and the Lakers come in this season. They play each other 4 times, and the Lakers take the series 3-1 against, like you just said, a Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Norman Powell led Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, with the Clippers leaving this year, to their new arena with their new rebrand and their new logo,
Inglewood.
You know what I'm saying? What a feat in a year it has been, and what a way to kind of for LeBron to just show off what he does by beating the Clippers in the season series 3-1, not 2-2.
3-1, baby.
3-1.
Hey Kev, do you have are you gonna say something about the wall promo they did, or what was that smirk? Oh, okay.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't know if you guys saw, but the Clippers apparently already have Lakers fans taking over their whole arena.
No way.
Oh, you guys didn't see. So I'll just really quickly, there
Nah.
was 2 look like younger kids, probably teenagers, who God bless them because they recorded the whole thing, and I'm sure they will be in jail soon. But they broke into the Clippers' new arena and yeah, found a fire extinguisher, put the fire extinguisher, and
Oh my God.
they breaking and entering, trespassing, damage to
Vandalism.
property. I'm sure
Yeah,
we can get away with all
vandalism.
that because then they put it on social media because
Jesus
that is
Christ.
the thing to do nowadays. Uh, but hey, I mean, keep tradition alive, right? Keep the Lakers fans coming into Clippers home games.
Yeah, in the words of another rapper, who am I to fuck tradition of, right? Hey, we'll keep it in the NBA. And for the viewers that are watching, a second ago, about 30, 45 seconds ago, you might have seen my face kind of just astounded. You know, I do the production in the middle, you know what I'm
What's the
saying?
score, buddy? What's the score?
Oh my goodness. We're going to take a live look into what I thought would be a marquee game this evening between the Warriors on the road in Madison Square Garden. And they are up by 14 points. 64, actually, I'm sorry, 12 points. The Knicks just scored. 14, 66 52. 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Knicks have lost 7 out of their last 10. Much different from when we were talking about them a couple weeks ago, winning 10 straight, dominating the month of January. February has not been as nice to the New York Knicks. You got Draymond Green right now with 2 points. Kuminga, who I am growing to very much appreciate. 18 points, 9 for 14 from the field, 5 rebounds, and assist. Curry got 22 points. I mean, what else do you expect from a star like Curry going into a place like MSG? And I mean, on the other side of it, and this is just people that are on the court right now. I mean, Hartenstein, no points. Achua 3 points. Brunson got 12. Hart got 11. DiVincenzo got 13. Why are the Knicks falling apart before our eyes, June?
I mean, you know, like you said, they had a great month. That's crazy. They had a great month of January. They had, you know, just past the trade deadline, made some great acquisitions. And right now, I think time and health is just catching up to them. It's fair. You know, OG Anunoby's been out with this mysterious elbow injury. Julius Randle's been out since they played Miami. Jalen Brunson tweaked an ankle a couple times. They're also missing Mitchell Robinson for months now. And because I'm trying to think of the fourth, because I got yelled at on Twitter. We're missing 4 starters. Which I get it. Whoever else, right? Whoever
You
else.
sound like The Rock right now. Corey Rose needs to finish his story.
Exactly. You know, Dante DiVincenzo being your best player, your second best option, night in and night out, is just not going to get it done, frankly, for over a long period of time. And yeah, they're just, you know, the injury bug has got them right now, and they're just fighting, man. They're fighting. They're still a good team. They're still a contending team. However, it's going to be interesting for me now, being as though they're not coming off any high, right? They're not like getting their guys back from injury where they're just rolling. They're struggling right now. And so when they start to get these guys back one by one, how is the lineup going to change? How are things going to mesh? You know, are guys going to feel as comfortable in their roles as they once did? Obviously, Julius Randle understands his position in this lineup. Obviously, Jalen Brunson understands his position. But with Julius Randle coming back, Dante DiVincenzo is going to get less touches. With OG Anunoby coming back, you know, we're going to see how that affects him and Dante DiVincenzo's offensive production. And so just a little interesting to see Josh Hart's usage is up because they, you know, it has to be. And I'm sure Knicks fans are going to be happy when Josh Hart's offensive production goes down. But just in terms of how it'll all work itself out, yeah, it's going to be something to see. But what did you say? They losers of how many of their last what?
Oh, they are 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 7 out of their last 10.
And real quick, I hope they lose tonight because Miami Heat are closing in on that fourth seed. We're winners of our last 5 and also winners of 9 of our last 11. And we're closing in on the 33-25. They're 35-24. You know, we play tonight, they play tonight. Let's try to close that gap.
And I love that you mentioned that because I was definitely going to mention that. The Knicks are number 4, right in front of the Heat with a game and a half on them. If they do lose tonight, it'll dwindle down to a half a game on the Heat. And on the other side of this, Golden State Warriors, don't look now, but start paying attention. They are 8-2 in their last 10 games. Now, I do understand that they are 10th, right? Yeah, 10th in the Western Conference, but they are 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're about 3.5 games outside of being in the top 6 in the West. Kev, is this a viable feat for the Warriors? Can they make it into the top 6, or are they a play-in team at best?
I think they're getting hot at a good time, but I also think that they maybe got hot a little too late. I think they're gonna end up in the play-in
Mm.
still. Um, but yeah, I don't know. As far as the Knicks go, though, if I could just touch on them really quick, pause. Um, if there's an opportunity to, I'm going to take it. They are. Let's see.
Here
Quick
go
math.
Kev.
It's
As,
crazy.
as of the All Star, let's just do this because it make it easier. As of the All Star break, there were 22-2 against teams below 500 and 11-20 against teams who were above 500. Now, there's a football team who I talked about that remind me a lot of this team. What was it again? Oh yeah, the Miami Dolphins.
What's that
So
mean?
Miami Dolphins.
So yeah, I think the New York Knicks are probably the Miami Dolphins of the NBA right now. Beat up on bad teams, don't really win, don't really get the job done against good teams. And I mean we've seen it. Like that's what we're seeing right now. And granted, they have guys out, but the Heat have had guys out and they haven't blinked an eyelash. They've been able to go on a nice little run as of late, even with guys out of the lineup, guys in and out of the lineup. So
Yeah.
I mean, great teams get it done when no matter the situation, you got to get it done. If you get to the postseason and the guy goes down, look at the Heat last year. Tyler Hero went down, got all the way to the finals. So yeah, I just think this is who they are. They're like a middle of the pack team, who's not really. I think they end up like a 4 or 5 seed when this is all said and done.
Hey,
With
Kev,
right now.
are you sporting Knicks colors right now? Is that an orange and blue?
No, this is a red-ish
That's
color.
red. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for the clarity.
yes,
Thanks for the
yeah,
clarity.
no.
Just wanted to, because I'm sporting the Pittsburgh, Pirates, and as I was talking about Pittsburgh Steelers, I kind of was being a little, a little nice. You, if you were sporting the orange and blue, still don't have those words for them, which I appreciate. Stand on your business, as I said. And one more point on the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga over these past 20 games, man, he's averaging about 20 points a game.
Balling.
He's doing
Balling.
amazing. And it's really since that time where, Steve Kerr had him out the lineup, not doing much, and he talked to him personally one-on-one. Steve Kerr challenged him, kind of kept it brutally honest with him, what they need from him. And we've seen vast improvement. And again, like Kev said, they're just getting hot at the right time. I don't think they are a playoff team. I do think they are a play-in team with the opportunity to win. Who wants to play Steph Curry in a win or go home situation? But it is a little late. They only have 30 wins on the season right now. Like that's going to be tough to catch up from now because we're talking about the Lakers who are 2 games ahead of them. Needing all the wins they could get is definitely going to be tough. But they can start tonight, man. Are they in the Garden? Steph Curry put on a show. You know what I'm saying? Hold it down for the foe. And yeah, we got NBA Finals matchup coming up right after. That's the marquee matchup that you thought you were going to see. You know what I'm saying?
And
that
keep
you
in
thought
mind,
you was going to see.
yeah, and keep in mind that one of those Nick wins was a very controversial win early in the last couple of days against Detroit. Last couple seconds, against Detroit. Yes, I said that. Barely won against Detroit on a questionable call. Who the refs later after the game. But we're not going to talk about refs because that's a whole other hour of a pod right there. But the refs.
Yeah, only Knicks fans talk about refs, which was ironic to me because they wanted to not talk about refs after that game. But hey, whatever.
Barely won. It's not looking good for them. And then, as June was just referencing, we'll just kind of jump right into it. We do have an NBA Finals rematch this evening in Denver, formerly known as the Pepsi Center. I always forget what that center is called now.
It's the Ball Arena.
That's right, the Ball Arena. Formerly known as the Pepsi Center. Miami travels over to the Mile High City in Denver tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Heat are 6.5-point underdogs on the road against the defending champions. Kev, what do you see tonight? I'm going to ask you straight up like I asked you last time. Do you guys cover and win? Do you guys cover or do you guys lose?
You're asking him the question with knowing the answer, correct?
I will say, last time
I'm expecting him. I'm sorry, Kev. I'm expecting him to put some respect on the defending champion's name. I'm sorry, June.
Yeah, this isn't, it's not Sacramento. It is the defending champions. We're going up against a 2-time MVP in Nikola Jokic, dealing with the altitude. This is a different situation than just having guts. You can still have the guts and not really like your situation with Kevin Love out tonight, especially Tyler Hero still out. We're 1-9 against Denver in our last 10 games against them. Denver's playing really good basketball right now, but so are the Heat. And we are going to go into Denver and not only cover, but we are going to win. 6-0 on this road trip. Bring it back home. Let's go on a run.
Yeah.
Jim
Yeah.
VP is here.
Yeah.
We see the
Yeah.
calendar. It's time.
Yeah.
It's over. It's
Yeah.
over for the league. It's that time. What
Yeah.
did he say? It's that time.
Yeah.
It's that time. We don't have
All
Dame,
summer.
but we got another time.
Yeah.
And it's Jim VP time.
Did
Hey.
you take the boost today, Kevin? Did you play? Did you sprinkle a
Oh,
little
I
bit
don't
on
think
there?
Hard Rock want to keep boosting those Miami Heat, getting smacked up and down.
They did boost them.
Let's fucking
to
go.
plus 190. So I haven't taken it yet, but as soon as we get off of here, I'll probably go take that.
Well, we're gonna get off of here shortly because we gotta get off in time for the game so you can take that bet. And before you ask me anything, I was gonna get upset with Kev EP if he told me that we didn't have enough or anything like that, because on Monday night I tried to say, listen, I'm not sure and all this uncertainty, and he let me know right to my face, I'm upset with you. We have enough. It's just the Kings. We're gonna go on the road, Heat Nation West. You get what I'm saying? And we took care of business, right? We then, let's get to this, Joe Cronin. We then went and took care of business in Portland. Call them a horrible team. I'll call them a horrible team too. Didn't win a game in the month of February.
Franchise.
Yeah, franchise. Didn't win a game in the month of February. And just a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? Just another gear shift for Jimmy and Bam to show what they have. We're going into Denver. Kev just said it. 1-9 against this team. Nikola Jokic dominates us. It's not a good matchup for us. They shoot the ball extremely well. They move the ball extremely well. But this is a Miami Heat team who in the month of February has the second best defense in the league. Our offensive production hasn't gone to the heights we want it to go yet. However, it has gone up. Everybody's numbers are improving. Terry Rozier back in the lineup. Delon Wright, point of attack defender on Jamal Murray. I want to see that matchup all night. Give it to me. No pause, baby. That's how I'm feeling, right? And so, we got to pause that. But, but Jim VP time of the year. It's now February. It will be probably March by the end of this game. You know what I'm saying? It's that time of the season. Bam Adebayo is playing Defensive Player of the Year basketball. He's playing MVP of the Miami Heat basketball, and he is leading us. No Kevin Love is definitely going to hurt us. It's definitely going to hurt us tonight. K-Love has been doing a great job. But, again, this gives him rest. You know, he took a tough fall. Somebody fell on his foot when he was trying to take a charge the other night. So, you know, K-Love needs that rest. And as we say, Kev, we have enough.
I'm gonna tap into this game. I'm excited for this game. I said that the other day.
I got the Nuggets.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
I also hope that the team was able to see what Michael Porter Jr. had to say. So,
that reminds me, to your point, Kev, because I didn't say all this because, you know, you ended up, you know, keeping it real and saying that we still have enough. We're going to do what we got to do. But I was just going to point out, you know, bad memories in that building. Like the last time we were in that building, confetti was falling and Jimmy Butler appeared to be maybe crying. I'm not sure if it was some personal matter or if it was just a competitive nature, but it looked bad. We played bad. Max Strus, last time in a Heat uniform, you know, I'm not going to thank the heavens for it. We saw what he was able to do and how he's able to help Cleveland, you know, maintain a 2 seed right now. But Jesus Christ, it was bad. I think pride is going to kick in, and I think that the Heat understand we got to do this one, you know, for the culture. This we left a bad taste in our mouths last time we was in Denver. Let's make it up to ourselves and show the league right now, because if we go on a 6-game win streak and beat the defending champs on their floor, you know, regular season game, I get that. I'm not going to jump for joy, but I will have more confidence and it will be one of those things where we're putting more of a league on notice type of message out there for the national media. They're starting to talk about it. Zach Lowe, Brian Windhurst. They're starting to notice what the Heat got right now. And it's that time of the year where everybody starts to, Kendrick Perkins is the goons. But Kendrick Perkins is on New York right now. He's a New York Knicks fan this year. And that's totally fine with me.
Stay on that
over
side.
there. Mm-hmm.
Yeesh. You guys have any more Heat talk you guys want to get off before we head over to EPZPL and
shout to Jimmy Butler, man.
Yeah,
before
I mean, you asked me that question, I could go for hours, but for the sake of the show, I won't.
Hey man, I'm going to I got two shout outs before I get into EPZPL corner and we get out of here. I got two shout outs. One is Kev, to you and your family and Eileen winning, the championship today. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Big flu game vibes. Said she wasn't feeling well and she pulled it through.
Legacy game.
These are the moments champions are made of. That's what the fuck you gotta say. And then shout out to AJ in the group chat and the Sagemont Lions going to the state championship in high school basketball, South Florida. Stand the fuck up, Sagemont. I wanted to go fire. I wanted to go to Sagemont real bad, but I grew up on the poor side of Broward, so it wasn't happening.
To be clear, my sister got a volleyball scholarship. She did not go for anything other than volleyball.
So shout out to Sagemont Prep on their state championship appearance. So I'll kick it over to EPZPL. I don't got much updates as far as scores, tables, anything like that. But big news: one out of Italy, because Pogba does play for Juventus in Italy in the Serie A, and then out of France because he's a French national. Paul Pogba banned 4 years for the use of testosterone, a banned substance. He did say him and his agent will be appealing the suspension. He said that the verdict is incorrect. He said, I am sad, shocked, and heartbroken that everything I have built in my professional playing career has been taken away from me. Listen, I know
I'd appeal a 4-year ban as well. I'll tell you that.
Bro, 4 years is crazy. That's a whole World Cup run. Like, But listen, we live in an age where certain medications, prescribed, not prescribed, come with certain, I'm not gonna, I'm not a judge. I'm not the verdict is not on me. I didn't make the verdict. I'm just reporting on it because here at the All Things Sports Podcast, this is what we do. We give you the real in sports. And then, I'll give you one side of it. Sucks to suck. on the other side of it, hey, man, I hope that appeal goes well. We need you back. Man. Yeah, it means you back.
Boy, you better hit that A-Rod on their ass. I did not do it.
I did see somebody say that Pogba should let people know what PED it was that he was using so that people could avoid using it because it wasn't working.
Wow.
That is crazy. Right. Yeah, that is crazy. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as we cross the 51-minute mark here on this beautiful Thursday evening, if you tapped in on the live, thank you so much. Kev, Cardi did say congratulations in the comments on the soon-to-be newborn. If you tapped in the live, thank you so much. You could have been anywhere in the world on this beautiful Thursday evening, but you were here with us. If you're listening after the fact on all your streaming platforms, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, it don't matter. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. June will be in South Florida next week, back home at the crib. I will be in South Florida this weekend, back home at the crib. Kev lives in South Florida, back
Still
home
here.
At the crib, never left. Who knows what'll happen. But if it don't happen, you'll see us next week. You heard? Appreciate you. That's ATX.